Today on the Travel Magazine, we will take you to the Hawaiian island of Oahu. But first, to the coastal town of Lüderitz, Namibia in southwest Africa. Lüderitz lies in the National Diamond Coast region of Namibia. It is one of the country's principal ports and the headquarters of the National Fishing Fleet. Hi, I'm Jake de Boer and welcome to this edition of the Travel Magazine. It was the first German settlement in the country, with its architectural style still very much in evidence. Lüderitz is the center for Namibia's crayfish industry, but it's the diamond mines and ghost towns that are most appealing.
We've got 42% of our visitors are German, and they're very interested in the cultural remnants, these ghost towns, what has actually been made so long ago. People look at it and say, wow, this was done in 1930, technologically very advanced. One went capital intensive here because the cost of having labor in the desert is so expensive that it was more viable to just use the most modern technology available. Diamonds were discovered here in a way by accident by a chap called August Stauch. He had been brought out here in 1907 to maintain a 10-kilometer section of the railway line. He had to shovel a lot of sand. The section that he had has got dunes crossing it at a speed of up to 16 meters per day. One of the workers, Zacharias Lewala, found a rather attractive stone, which found its way to Stauch, and he suspected this could be a diamond. He trekked all the way to Swakopmund and had it confirmed that this was in fact a diamond. And that was the start of the rush. It was April 1908. Things went very fast after the initial discovery. The infrastructure was there, they had the railway line, they had the harbour, all built courtesy of the war, and things went beautifully for, well, about 30 years. Then diamonds were discovered further south of here, about 300 kilometers south of here at Oranienmund. And those stones turned out to be 6 times the size of the stones that they'd been finding here. So the whole operation slowly moved southwards towards the bigger stones, and the mining townships and villages here turned into ghost towns, not because one had actually run out of diamonds, simply the diamonds were too small compared to the bigger stones that we're finding down south. People that come here, firstly, are amazed at the fact that they actually have access to something like this, which would normally be wrapped in barbed wire or demolished for the safety of people who may happen to come here. And today, one is actually coming back again to these abandoned lower grade ore areas because your diamonds, your small diamonds, smaller than a fifth of a carat, can actually be cut automatically these days. And that makes these small stones viable again. We go on south to the majestic rock arch of Boldenfels, which is a huge arch. One aircraft has flown through it that I know of. It's 55 meters high. It's got 1 foot on the desert and 1 foot in the sea. And it is a very, very impressive thing to see. Driving down a dune is the same as skiing down a slope. It's a lot of fun. The thing is, you must take it slowly. If you drive it fast, it's exciting until you reach the bottom, and then you've got a wreck because it's very hard at the bottom.
The dunes outside of Lüderitz are mountains of shifting sand. They appear to be lifeless, but in fact are home to an array of small creatures, ranging from beetles and termites to lizards and snakes. You can imagine the curiosity that was aroused when Mika took a tour of the town in the sidecar of a Russian-built motorcycle.
Right, Mika, I'm now going to take you to some places where your husband wouldn't take you. In this wonderful town of ours, Lüderitz. It was founded in 1884, but it was really built up only after the discovery of diamonds, which was in 1907. But the style of the houses you see around here is Jugendstil, which is basic German turn of a century architecture. Thought that we could use a nice motorbike like this with a sidecar to take tourists around the desert and also around the town. But the problem was getting one. I contacted the Eurotech, it's a Russian company, which makes a copy of the German BMW we used to be made during World War II. So I contacted them and asked them whether they could send me some information on this motorbike. They didn't send me a pamphlet, they sent me the whole motorcycle.
That's wonderful. You should give me the address, you know.
Keeping the house clean, of course, is a bit of a problem, because when the wind does come up, you've got dust all over the place. But you get used to that. And you get used to other little ways of living here. I mean, you never chew with your teeth quite together. That way you don't chew sand. And other problems, especially for me, unfortunately, there's a shortage of women in this town. So I'm very, very glad to have such a beautiful blonde sitting next to me in the sidecar for the whole town to see. I'm sure they're all very jealous.
Yeah, yes, I see so.
This is the Atlas Bay seal colony. It's your Cape fur seal. This is the biggest colony of the Cape fur seal in the world. During the height of the breeding season, you have about 500,000 seals here. That's bulls and cows and pups and the whole lot. They started off initially on that island over there. That's Long Island South. Just around the corner, about a mile, is Long Island North, where another colony started. Both colonies expanded until there wasn't room anymore on the rock, and then they moved onto the shoreline. You can see here they've picked a rocky shore because they are designed by nature to live on rocky little islands like that. So they actually avoid beaches on the mainland. The sand is too hot for them. They don't like it. Their biggest problem is being too hot. The bulls have got 4 inches of fat on them at the start of the breeding season. And besides giving insulation, it also protects them from fighting damage, battle damage. The little black ones that you see here have been born in November, December, and are now reaching the point where they actually start to supplement their milk diet with food from the sea.
Well, that's it for the town of Lüderitz and the surrounding area. But stay with us as we will take you now to the South Pacific.
Live from the Sheraton Waikiki's Hano Room, 30 stories above the beach, KSSK presents Michael W. Perry and Larry Price.
It certainly was a thrill when I was asked to be a guest on the #1 radio show in Hawaii.
Ladies and gentlemen, the executive producer of the Travel Magazine, Mr. Jake DeBoer. Hi, Jake. Good morning. This is seen all over the world.
This is seen all over the world, from Asia to Southern Africa, as far away as Russia, Iceland, and you name it.
So these people will actually, you folks are going to be the star of worldwide television.
That's right, and thank you for suggesting that if somebody shouldn't be here, they better disappear out of the door very, very quickly. Honolulu is a bustling modern city that is not only known for Waikiki Beach, but the famous natural landmark for Diamond Head. People who come here often say they have found paradise. After all, the best of both worlds is here on the island of Oahu. You can delight in Waikiki's diverse restaurants, wondrous shops, and electrifying nightlife, or just minutes away the serenity of lush mountain trails and white sandy beaches.
The beach of Waikiki is famous worldwide. It's been in many movies and photographs, and everybody's familiar with it. It's our greatest treasure. All of the beaches on the island of Oahu and the Hawaiian Islands are public beaches. The public has access to any and all of our beaches. Of course, our most famous beach is Waikiki Beach. Almost everyone has heard about it. They've seen it in magazines, they've seen it in photography. It's a very famous and unique, distinct strip of white sand that is absolutely fabulous.
Good morning, Mika.
Good morning.
Are you ready for your lesson?
I am sure ready.
Very good. Are you, Jacob, are you ready? Okay, what we're going to do first here, lay down on the boards and I'll instruct you how to get up. Okay? So let me lay down first and then you do it. Feet at the back of the board and just lay down on your chest. Okay? Now what's very important here is first we want to learn how to paddle the board. Okay? So what you're going to do, you're going to stretch out your arms. All right? Drop it in the water like you're in the water and you pull the water back to paddle the board. Okay?
Yeah, I've got that.
Next one is we're going to do a push-up. So when I get you on the wave, I say up, hands go across your chest, push up and slide both knees here. Okay? Now the next step is to put your left foot where your left hand with your left knee outside your arm. Ready? Up. Okay, the next step is we're going to stand right up. Okay, lean forward, lift up your knee, now push back, stand up and squat your knees, arms out, head down the center.
Good.
All right?
But it's not moving.
Right, there's a reason we're still on the sand.
As far as I'm going.
Watch out, wait. We'll be right back with Travel Magazine from Waikiki Beach right after these messages.
You know that Hawaii is the big island, right? What is the small island? You have 10 seconds. What? What did you say? What? He's a Hawaiian at heart. He knows. We'll be right back.
Well, Punch Bowl is a national monument. It's the National Memorial Cemetery of the Pacific, where the armed servicemen from the United States are buried. It's actually an old volcano, so when you go in there, it has a very close feel, and you're inside these wonderful volcanic walls, and it's a very beautiful, peaceful, serene place. Pearl Harbor is a national treasure, actually. We're celebrating 52 years, I believe it is, since the attack on Pearl Harbor. Many, many lives of servicemen were lost there, and today there is a monument to those servicemen, particularly at the USS Arizona Memorial. It too is another very, very special place, very popular with people who are coming to Hawaii. They're familiar with Pearl Harbor and the way the U.S. was brought into World War II. And it's a great place to go and see the remains of the USS Arizona, still visible but just below the waterline. Well, the Polynesian Cultural Center is about an hour's drive from Waikiki, out on the very scenic windward side of our island. It's a very unique and unusual place where you can see 7 island nations in the one place.
At the Polynesian Cultural Center, it is a unique treasure that was created to preserve and portray the cultures of the Pacific Islands. We have Samoa, we have Marquesas, Tahiti, and we have Hawaii, Fiji, New Zealand, we call them the Maori people of New Zealand, and Tonga, the last remaining kingdom in the Pacific.
Yeah, I like that. I'm thirsty.
The Samoan village is a well-liked demonstration. There they show you how to crack a coconut, husk it, and tell you the difference between coconut juice and coconut milk, and there is a real difference.
Miruku! And this is how we get the coconut milk.
In the islands of Marquesas, it's part of French Polynesia, and in that island they will portray a very special demonstration that is the marriage ceremony. Our evening show is the highlight of the whole day here in a visit to the Polynesian Culture Center. We have a show that is called Mana, the spirit of our people. In that show, we portray all 6 island cultures that we portray here. And they do this through unique portrayals of dances. It is the best show that you can find anywhere.
Well, that's it from the sandy beaches of Waikiki. Be sure to join us for the next edition of the Travel Magazine.
Aloha.